Hello. In this series, I answer the most asked question: why some people pass the PMP exam on the first try, others after multiple attempts, and some never pass at all. Some candidates walk into the PMP exam once and walk out certified. Others need 2 or 3 attempts, and a portion never cross the finish line at all. The difference is not intelligence, it's mindset, preparation strategy, and alignment with PMI's exam philosophy. As you can see in the table breakdown percentages, 35% first try passers get certified, 45% require multiple attempts to become certified, and 20% are non-passers that never get certified or must wait 1 calendar year to try again. It tells you the PMP is a very passable exam, and here's why. These percentages make sense because the PMP exam is a mindset-driven, not memorization-driven. Candidates who train with scenario-based questions and PMI decision logic outperform those who only study definitions. Many candidates fail once, then adjust their strategy, which is why multi-attempt passers form this largest group. Non-passers typically never shift their approach, even after failing. First try passers. They study in the PMP mindset. These candidates who pass the PMP exam on the first attempt understand the fundamental truths. The PMP is not a test of memorization. It is a test of professional judgment. PMI is not evaluating whether you can recite processes. They're evaluating whether you can think the way a modern project leader should think under uncertainty, pressure, and incomplete information. These candidates train in the performance domain mindset, not the process memorization mindset. They immerse themselves in scenario-based learning, working through 500 plus situational questions that force them to interpret ambiguity, weigh trade-offs, and choose the option that aligns best with PMI's leadership philosophy. They don't just study content, they study how PMI frames the decisions. They learn to recognize patterns in stakeholder behavior, risk signals, team dynamics, and delivery constraints. Their preparation mirrors the exam's logic so closely that by test day, the questions feel familiar even when scenarios are new. Multi-attempt passers. They study the content, not the mindset. Many candidates know the PMP material extremely well, yet still struggle when the pressure of the exam hits. Their challenge isn't knowledge, it's application. They understand concepts, but they can't consistently translate that knowledge into PMI-aligned decisions when faced with ambiguous, multi-layered scenarios. They often fall into predictable patterns. Definition memorization. They study terms like ITTOs and vocabulary instead of practicing how those concepts behave inside real project situations. Outdated PMBOK thinking. They rely on process-heavy, waterfall-centric logic that no longer reflects PMI's modern performance domain approach. Understanding exam complexity. They assume PMP is a knowledge test, not a judgment test, and are blindsided by scenario-based questions that require leadership reasoning, not recall. Under pressure, these habits collapse. They know the right terms, but not the right actions. The turning point comes when they shift to scenario-based learning. Once they begin practicing situational questions, analyzing decision patterns, and training their brain to think in PMI's leadership style, everything changes. Their confidence increases, their accuracy improves, and they finally break through. Non-passers. They never adapt their strategy. These candidates fall into a predictable cycle. They repeat the same study habits over and over, hoping the next attempt will magically produce a different outcome. Instead of evolving their strategy, they double down on what already is not working. They often avoid mock exams because the results feel discouraging, not realizing that mock exams are the single strongest predictor of PMP success. Without exposure to real exam pressure, they never develop the situational judgment the test demands. They skip domain-based training, focusing instead on scenario notes YouTube videos, or outdated process-heavy content. This leaves them unprepared for PMI's modern performance domain mindset, where leadership, decision-making, and ambiguity interpretation matter far more than memorization. Many rely on fragmented resources, a little bit of PMBOK, a few practice questions, and a random course and some flashcards. None of these pieces connect into a structured system, so their learning never compounds. Without a cohesive guided approach, the PMP exam becomes overwhelming. The content feels endless, the scenarios feel confusing, and exam logic feels unpredictable. It's not that they can't pass, it's that their preparation never aligns with how PMI expects project leaders to think. In short, they don't fail because they're incapable, they fail because their system fails them.
Just a reminder, the PMBOK 8th edition is officially live, and so is the most complete PMP training ecosystem built for the 2027 exam and beyond. If you're preparing for the PMP exam or renewing your certification, you can now access a full PMBOK-8 learning system designed to give you everything you need in one place. PMBOK-8 PMP Exam Prep Book, KDP. A modern, performance domain-driven guide that teaches you how PMI expects project leaders to think and make decisions. Free 35-hour online PMP training, PMBOK-8 edition. Complete video lessons, domain walkthrough, mock exams, templates, and instructor-level tools. Customizable PMP Instructor PPT. Teach, mentor, or lead internal training sessions using the included instructor slide deck. Earn all 60 PDUs in one stop. This ecosystem gives you every PDU required for PMP renewal. A. 20 PDUs, reading the PMP exam prep book. B. 20 PDUs, completing the PMBOK-8 35-hour online training. C. 20 PDUs, teaching PMP content using the Customizable Instructor PPT. Total, 60 PDUs, all inside one integrated system. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe.